Every single year, without fail, the traditional tennis media machine relies on a deeply entrenched, incredibly stubborn, and highly predictable narrative. When the professional tour makes its brutal, physically exhausting transition from the lightning-fast hard courts of North America to the grueling, punishing, crushed red brick of the European clay court swing, the establishment wants you to firmly believe one thing: this transition is a massive equalizer. According to this tired old story, clay is a highly specialized surface where young, explosive, hardcore prodigies are immediately exposed, humbled, and systematically dismantled by gritty, defensive-minded European veterans who have spent their entire lives grinding on the dirt. It's the narrative that has dominated tennis discourse for decades. It's comfortable, it's predictable, it's safe. But every once in a generation, a young athlete arrives who does not just seamlessly adapt to the surface. They actively weaponize it. They completely shatter the archaic expectations of the old guard and violently take over the global hierarchy. They rewrite the rules. They change the game forever. Welcome back to CRT Pro, the absolute, undisputed premier destination on the internet for the raw, unapologetic, and entirely unfiltered truth behind the ruthless business, the locker room psychology, and the elite biomechanics of the WTA Tour. We don't do surface-level analysis here. We don't accept conventional wisdom. We dig deeper, we think harder, and we deliver the kind of tactical breakdown that separates casual fans from true students of the game. Today, we are absolutely not just previewing a standard first-round tennis match. We are actively documenting a massive, highly calculated paradigm shift. We are witnessing history in the making. We are talking about the completely unprecedented historic 35th anniversary of the Upper Austria Ladies Linz Open and the absolutely explosive must-watch opening round showdown between the rising 20-year-old Filipina superstar Alexandra Eala and the 29-year-old Austrian hometown veteran Julia Grabher. This is not just another tournament. This is a moment. This is a turning point. This is where the future of women's tennis collides with the present, and the results will reverberate through the entire sport. The arena. A monumentio ambition to mark this specific anniversary, the tournament organizers did something incredibly drastic and completely insane. They completely ripped out their traditional indoor hardcourts. They actively hauled exactly 100 tons of raw, crushed red clay directly into the middle of the city's design center. They built a highly specialized temporary 30,000-seat gladiator arena, a coliseum designed for combat, for drama, for the kind of tennis that makes you hold your breath. And stepping directly onto that freshly laid dirt is an athlete who is quite literally engineered to completely dominate it. We are going to aggressively break down the terrifying tactical advantage Eala possesses, the incredibly hostile psychological warfare of the Austrian crowd, and exactly why Julia Grabher is about to become the very first unfortunate casualty in Alexandra Eala's impending conquest of Europe. Buckle up, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications. Let us ruthlessly dissect this absolute tactical masterclass. Understanding Eala's unstoppable momentum to truly comprehend the sheer staggering magnitude of the violent tennis execution we are highly anticipating in Austria, you have to meticulously analyze the incredibly intimidating, borderline terrifying momentum that Alexandra Eala is carrying directly into this WTA 500 event. The traditional narrative surrounding young, highly touted prodigies is that they struggle massively with week-to-week consistency. They string together one or two brilliant matches. They generate a massive amount of media hype. They become the darling of social media. Everyone is talking about them. Everyone is excited about their potential. And then, inevitably, they completely implode under the suffocating, relentless pressure of the professional tour. The mental weight becomes too much. The physical demands overwhelm them. They fade into obscurity, just another promising talent who couldn't quite make it. But Alexandra Eala has completely, violently shattered that lazy narrative over the past several months. We're talking about a player who just aggressively marched into the Miami Open, one of the most grueling, highly competitive, and physically demanding hardcourt tournaments on the entire planet outside of the 4 Grand Slams, and delivered an absolutely jaw-dropping run to the round of 16. She did not just survive that incredibly dense draw. She actively bullied established, highly ranked veterans directly off the baseline. She imposed her will. She dictated points. She showed no fear. She officially broke into the top 50 in the global rankings for the very first time in her young career. She has definitively proven to the entire world that she completely belongs in the incredibly exclusive elite tier of women's tennis. But here is the truly terrifying, nightmare-inducing reality for the rest of the WTA locker room. The hard courts of North America are not even her ultimate, final, most dangerous form. Clay, her true home by transitioning across the Atlantic to the heavy European clay, Eala is effectively returning to her absolute athletic sanctuary. You have to remember exactly where this young woman was physically and mentally forged. Since she was a young teenager, she has spent years meticulously grinding, sweating, bleeding, and perfecting her craft at the legendary Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca, Spain. She was quite literally biomechanically engineered on the red clay by the absolute greatest, most brilliant minds the sport has ever seen in its entire history. Because of that elite, highly specialized Spanish engineering, Eala understands the dark, grueling, punishing arts of clay court tennis fundamentally better than players who are 10 years her senior. She has been shaped by the same environment that created Rafael Nadal. She has absorbed the same principles. She has internalized the same philosophy. Playing on clay is not simply about sliding. It is a highly complex physical chess match that requires an entirely different geometric understanding of the court. It requires heavy, kicking topspin to actively push your opponents completely out of position and off the television frame. It requires massive cardiovascular endurance to survive 20-shot rallies where every point feels like a battle of wills. It requires the elite footwork necessary to turn awkward defensive positions into lethal, immediate offense. Eala possesses a heavily weaponized left-handed forehand that is specifically designed to completely terrorize opponents on this exact surface. When her forehand generates that sickening amount of RPMs, a direct, undeniable byproduct of that Nadal Academy DNA, and that ball hits the crushed brick of the Linz center court, it is going to absolutely explode upward, violently jumping off the surface and completely disrupting the strike zone of her opponent. For Eala to come off a career-best, confidence-building hardcourt swing and immediately step onto her absolute preferred surface armed with a top 50 ranking and the swagger of a proven winner is an absolute, unmitigated disaster for anyone standing on the opposite side of the net. The entire tennis world is watching closely to see if her hardcourt success will immediately translate to the dirt. The underlying analytics suggest that her game is about to become exponentially more dangerous. The data supports what we're seeing with our own eyes. This is a player operating at a different level. Grabher, the veteran's last stand but standing directly in her way, heavily determined to protect her home turf, is Julia Grabher. And we absolutely have to respect the deeply complex, highly volatile psychological dynamic she brings to this specific first-round matchup. Grabher is absolutely no pushover. She is a 29-year-old battle-tested, seasoned veteran of the WTA Tour. She intimately knows the grueling, highly unforgiving reality of professional tennis, having aggressively clawed her way to a career-high ranking of number 54 in the world back in 2023. She has been through wars. She has faced the best. She has survived the grind. More importantly, she is an Austrian national. She is playing in her absolute literal backyard. The tournament organizers purposely built this massive temporary 30,000-seat center court in the absolute middle of Linz to pack the stands with screaming, passionate, highly partisan local fans who are going to desperately try to will their hometown hero to a massive, tournament-defining upset. In professional tennis, playing against the home favorite in a confined indoor arena is a deeply suffocating, claustrophobic, and entirely hostile experience. Every single unforced error you make is immediately met with deafening, mocking applause. Every single winner the opponent hits is treated like a monumental championship point. The crowd actively attempts to insert themselves into the match, completely disrupting the rhythm of the visiting player. It is a highly toxic, entirely unforgiving environment that is specifically, deliberately designed to mentally break young, inexperienced players and force them into a state of absolute athletic panic. Grabher is going to rely incredibly heavily on that massive emotional tidal wave. She is a gritty, defensive-minded classic clay court specialist who knows exactly how to suffer on the dirt. She knows with absolute certainty that she cannot overpower Alexandra Eala in a pure baseline, heavy-hitting firefight. So her entire tactical game plan will revolve around extending the rallies, throwing an incredibly frustrating high-looping junk balls, absorbing pace, and aggressively hoping that the deafening Austrian crowd can successfully rattle the young Filipina star into making completely uncharacteristic mistakes. It's a legitimate strategy. It's been used before. It has worked before. But it has never faced an opponent quite like Eala. The tactical breakdown. Why Eala wins, however, the absolute cold-blooded, mathematically undeniable reality of modern professional tennis is that raw, unadulterated talent and elite biomechanical execution will always eventually silence a hostile crowd. And this is exactly where we predict the unprecedented, highly systematic, and utterly ruthless dismantling of Julia Grabher will ultimately take place. When you break down the pure tactical matchup on the chalkboard, Grabher's absolute greatest strength is her ability to stubbornly grind out points and force her opponent to hit an extra ball. She is a master of attrition. She understands how to make tennis miserable for her opponents. She knows how to turn matches into wars of attrition where mental toughness matters as much as physical ability. But she is about to face a player who possesses a completely different, overwhelmingly superior caliber of baseline artillery. Alexandra Eala does not just hit the tennis ball. She violently punishes it with malicious intent. Every stroke carries purpose. Every shot carries aggression. Every point is contested with absolute conviction. On a traditional clay court, you cannot simply block Eala's heavy left-handed ground strokes back into the center of the court and expect to survive the rally. Because of the aggressive topspin, Grabher will be consistently, physically pinned 3 to 4 meters entirely behind the baseline, desperately running side to side just to stay alive in the point. This is a fatal, completely unrecoverable biomechanical disadvantage. When you're forced to play that deep in the court, you surrender all of the offensive geometry. You lose the ability to dictate. You become reactive instead of proactive. You are no longer playing tennis. You are simply trying to survive. And the exact moment Grabher inevitably drops a ball short inside the service line, and she will because she has to take risks to stay in points, Eala is going to aggressively step inside the baseline and completely execute her with ruthless, laser-accurate, flat winners down the line. It is absolutely not going to be a competitive, drawn-out grind. It is going to be a highly calculated, deeply clinical athletic execution. Eala will be in complete control from start to finish. The crowd's fading roar, the Austrian crowd, might start the match incredibly loud, incredibly energetic, and completely hostile. The noise will be deafening. The energy will be palpable. The home fans will believe that their passion can carry Grabher to victory. But we are boldly predicting that within the first 5 or 6 games of the opening set, Eala's sheer suffocating baseline dominance is going to completely and entirely suck the oxygen out of that building. The silence in that 30,000-seat arena will be absolutely deafening once the local fans collectively realize that their hometown hero is being entirely outclassed, outhit, and outmaneuvered by a vastly superior generational talent who operates on a completely different athletic frequency. The crowd will go quiet. The energy will shift. The momentum will swing irreversibly in Eala's favor. And from that point forward, it will be a coronation, not a competition. The bigger picture, what this victory means, this impending, highly anticipated victory, is not just about advancing to the round of 16. It is about sending a massive, undeniable, and deeply intimidating warning shot to the entire WTA establishment. Alexandra Eala is currently seated 6th in this highly competitive, absolutely loaded 28-player draw. She is no longer the underdog. She is no longer the cute feel-good story of a rising teenager simply happy to be in the main draw. She is an absolute, undeniable top-tier threat to win the entire tournament and hoist the trophy. The narrative is shifting.